Across the other side of the set now, speak to Solange Moujon for the press review. We're to Solange.
I will.
Starting with these post-Brexit trade talks. We knew time was running out, but it appears patience is also running out.
It is indeed, and for the Daily Express, Britain will not be moved. The Conservative paper says that Boris Johnson will face down the threats from the European Union, namely to sue the British government for breaking international laws. That is, if they go through with plans to alter the already agreed-to terms of their divorce pact. Now, bitter divorce is a term that the Eye is using today. The centre-left paper says that the warnings from Brussels is setting up the UK for what they see as a potentially acrimonious divorce. Meanwhile, The Guardian, they point the finger at Boris Johnson and saying he's not just creating distrust within European nations, but his, quote, smart-ass duplicity doesn't stop at other countries, end quote. The opinion piece argues that Johnson has been lying all along to the British people, that, quote, if you lie for England, you lie to England, end quote. For The Guardian, the fakery is nothing, where nothing is binding creates an open chasm within the British democracy.
Meanwhile, the big story in France today is really the coronavirus. The past 24 hours, we saw nearly 10,000 cases reported, and that's setting the stage for President Emmanuel Macron to announce new measures.
Yeah, the day of difficult decisions may be upon us. In announcing that new measures would be coming out today, Emmanuel Macron said difficult decisions were going to be needed. And the commuter daily C News wonders whether it's time for France to tighten restrictions as the government walks on a tightrope between balancing the slowing the virus and safeguarding the economy. Now, for Libération, red flags are popping up across the nation, but Macron's show or parade will not include a return to a nationwide lockdown. This is something he wants to avoid at all costs, and something that for Libération means that slowing of the virus may be coming in second place after holding up the economy coming in first.
And in the United States, it's the 19th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Both Joe Biden and Donald Trump will be visiting the Flight 93 Memorial in Pennsylvania. How are each men going to be treating this anniversary?
Well, they both are going to Pennsylvania at different times, but that same choice of venue is perhaps one of the only two things that candidates have in common, or that their supporters have in common. That, at least, is what U.S. News and World Report laments in a cartoon, sort of nostalgic cartoon, where you have one woman saying, remember when we were once unified. To commemorate the solemnness of the day, the Biden team has actually pushed the pause button on all of their media. According to The Hill, the Biden campaign will be pulling all of their television ads for today out of respect to those who died, a move that the Trump campaign did not comment on as of yet and has not done as well.
And now the other major story coming out of the United States are the fires ravaging the American Northwest. The American press saying it's a climate change reckoning. Yeah,
the New York Times says Californians are realizing that climate change is not coming, that it is indeed here. The paper says that residents are feeling the cascade effect of a series of disasters that overlap and create, quote, apocalyptic situations. The paper quotes a climate scientist, actually, who's often asked, is this the new normal? To which he replies, no, it is going to get worse, end quote. Now, this is so abysmally depressing, I couldn't leave you with that. So I thought we could raise our spirits a bit by talking about some of the intriguing parts of this tragedy, the orange skies. Now, Wired has an article that explains the exact science of why the smoke turned the skies orange and not gray. And it has to do with huge columns of ash particles that sunlight passes through, mixed with water vapor, and actually how our eyes work as well. It's very cool, very complex, and Wired sort of explains it in somewhat layman terms.
All right. Well, Solange, you also broke down something for us as well. French feminism. Yeah,
the New York Times, again, breaks down a couple of the many different currents of French feminism that are going on right now in France, and some of them are quite at odds with one another. The paper says that infighting in places like the Paris mayor's office in particular have gotten to fever pitch. Now, these different versions of feminism were also the subject of a tweet that's gone viral after an incident at Paris's Musée d'Orsay a couple days ago. Now, a woman was refused entry because of a cleavage-revealing dress, which you can see in her tweet there. Now, as a sort of side note, you know Dolly Parton, right?
Yes.
Yes, she's known for her, American country singer, she's known for her big boobs. Well, she says that cleavage can be its own form of a feminist statement. And this incident may be a case in point of that. Anyway, The Guardian picked up the story, remarking on the irony considering the number of naked women in paintings that are on display in the d'Orsay Museum. The museum has since apologized, but again, French women asking the question of who they are in society and how society treats them.
Oh, Solange, what a tangled web you weave from the Musée d'Orsay to Dolly Parton and back again. All right, thank you very much.